Hey, cuz, have you been doing any Amazon shopping?
Just like all the time. Why?
I'm just asking, what kind of stuff are you buying?
I buy like electronic stuff, like the equipment we use for our podcast. This arm right here, the mixer that this goes through.
Okay,
The
okay.
computer I'm using.
What about any apparel?
Yeah, actually, I bought some shirts. Why do you ask? Oh, the shirt I'm wearing right now. What about you?
Check it out.
What? Are we wearing number 2 podcast shirts?
We are.
This is awesome. Are you telling me that you can go to Amazon.com and buy our shirts?
I am, but even better, if you go to campfirepod.com, click on the Amazon link, and then you search our podcast shirts, you can get a shirt.
You can support the show in 2 ways: by buying a shirt from Amazon, but using our link at campfirepod.com. That's campfyrepod.com. And then finding the number 2 podcast shirt by searching num2pod.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That seems so easy. You know what? I think I'll make it even easier. If you go to campfirepod.com/merch, you'll find links to all the shirts that we have for sale, and you'll be supporting the show.
Hi, I'm Lourdes.
And I'm Eric, but you can call me Tello. This show is a family-oriented show, but it's oriented from the adult perspective. We talk about adult situations, and very often we use adult language. So if there's any kids in the room, kick their asses out. They don't belong here right now. Unless they want to learn something about life.
Right, this may not be suitable for children. And I'd like to add, I don't want to make anybody mad, and I love my family and friends.
I do too. Nothing?
No.
Nothing prepared.
Don't even try. Just
nothing.
No.
Nothing prepared as usual, cause my cousin just doesn't love this show.
Brain malfunctions.
Brain malfunctions? Okay, I'm just going to stop it right there. Oh my goodness, cuz. What an eventful week.
You're telling me.
This has been a long week for me. I don't know about you.
It has. I haven't had one day off until today.
You poor
and
thing.
I'm still working.
Shut up. This reminds me of that scene from Dumb and Dumber where they lose their jobs and they're looking all over town for a job, and they get home, they're like, there's just no work in this town unless you want to work 40 hours a week.
Right?
Man.
That's great. Yeah.
So this week, what do we miss?
I was gonna say I was thinking of the Dumb and Dumber scene where it's the first one, and they're like walking in the desert heat, trying to get their way back home because they went to find Mary Swanson up in the mountains. And
you mean Samsonite?
Yeah. Was that her name?
No, that's the name that was on the luggage, which is the brand name of the luggage.
Oh my gosh.
They were trying to figure out the name, and he was like, Swimmy, Swummy, Slippy, Slappy. And he was like, maybe it's on the luggage. He was like, oh, Samsonite.
Well, I was thinking of the bus that comes with all these supermodels wearing their bikinis, looking for 2 guys to oil them down. And they're like, you're in luck. There's a town right down that way.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. And then they're like, man, those ladies are going to make 2 lucky guys very happy.
Hey, cuz, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you either reposition your camera where you're more centered, or pull your microphone closer to your face so that you don't have to lean so far to the edge of the screen? Okay.
I really don't think I have to lean in. Anyway, go ahead. You're just messing
Just technical stuff we're taking care of.
Yeah, because I've been having technical difficulties all morning.
Yeah,
I had to take my hair clip out.
That's so technical. I'm so sorry. Let me see. Butterfly clip?
I guess.
You still? I haven't seen one of those since 1993.
Stop. I love these.
I'm just messing with you.
No, I was
You
thinking
know
the
me.
same
I'm
thing.
like
Somebody-
I am like at the spear tip of fashion. I know all about what's going on, especially women's fashion. I mean, look, I have this. You think this gray streak right here is by accident? No, that's totally on
do it
purpose,
every-
right? Man, it's such a hassle to keep up with. Just like I got to separate the exact same amount of hairs and just keep. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's all natural. Just like the gray in my beard.
all natural.
Before we get the show started, episode 33. Cuz can you believe we made it to episode 33? I mean, like I don't hate it, but I'm sure it gets annoying us tooting our own horn every time we do another episode, just progressively getting bigger and bigger because honestly, I thought that we would do about 2 or 3 episodes and you'd be like, cuz I just can't do it anymore.
I mean, sometimes I feel that way, but
I nag the hell out of you and you're like, if I don't do this, I'm never going to hear the end of it.
no, I feel like we've, invested a lot of time and it's fun
And money.
and yeah, but I haven't really contributed much of that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I did support the show recently.
How's that? What'd you do?
I went to campfirepod.com, clicked on the Amazon link and purchased some shirts. How about
Are you doing a
that?
commercial? Are you doing a commercial? Let's see the shirt again. Let me see that beautiful. Oh man, that's such an ugly design. I should hire a designer.
Well, I have 2 supposedly that said they would help, but their words not very
Yeah.
concrete.
Well, I think I know some people. I went to school with somebody who's really talented. I might hit her up. But in the meantime, because I don't know when that's going to happen, if you want to support the show, get one of these ugly original. I mean, it's not so much original. This is like from my heart design. I really worked hard on this, and it's not what I was hoping for, but it's what we have. And it's our faces and
With
our,
no eyes.
Hey, the eyes are behind the glasses, okay?
You don't have a nose.
What? There's kind of some negative space there for the nose.
Yeah, I see that.
Well, anyway, I didn't mean to do another commercial. Just go to campfirepod.com/merch and you'll be able to find the shirts there and support the show. What I wanted to talk about was we got a shout out from another podcast on Instagram.
No way.
Yes. It's a podcast called From the Bronx with Love. And they do this thing called Friday Favorite. Mm-hmm. And I want to read to you what they wrote. It says, time for our favorite part about Friday. Lourdes and Tello from at N2P always have good stories to share, as well as interesting BG noise and unexpected guests. Go listen to their most recent episode to find out the controversy over pizza. # Friday Favorite.
Oh my gosh. You see, it keeps it authentic. There may not be any background noise, but there may be some unexpected guests today.
Okay, so my response was, thanks for the shout out. Much respect coming at you from Texas with love. Because, they're from the Bronx with love, so I wanted to send them from Texas with love. So I thought that was really cool, man. Just
that is cool.
That we
got some other...
Yeah,
we got somebody other than your mom and Phoebe
I know.
listening.
We got to step up our game. There are other podcasters listening to us. We got to... Yeah,
Because I just think we need to keep it real.
Yeah, keep it real for sure.
Yeah.
But also, we got to step up our game because it's not just our family listening now. We got actual people in the audience listening.
Yeah, maybe
You think
Bronx
they went
people
back to some?
will. So maybe the Bronx people will buy a #2 pod shirt.
Okay. All right, I appreciate you mentioning that, but let's not make this whole thing a commercial.
Okay,
Because
let's carry on.
What if they do buy one and they look at it, oh, what an ugly design, and they send it back?
That would be so sad.
That would break my
to
heart.
refund someone.
That would break my heart. But
goodness.
you made me forget what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
I don't even know what I was going to say. It must not have been good. Where we were talking, keeping it real, From the Bronx with Love. Thank you so much. Follow at From the Bronx with Love on Instagram. Subscribe to their podcast. That's really awesome of them. They're at From the Bronx with Love on Instagram. please give them a follow. Check out their podcast. It was really awesome for them to shout us out, and I just want to return the favor and shout them out from our show. So thanks a lot from the Bronx with Love. Again,
that's pretty cool.
Coming at you from Texas with love.
Yeah. I had a verbal review. I guess another one from your Fave Cuz.
Oh, nice.
And she said she was actually going to go out and give us a review.
I hope so.
I'm not really sure if it was a good review or not. I can't remember. Yeah.
You don't remember what she said? Were you drunk?
No. I haven't been drinking either.
No more Vegas
but
lemonade?
I'll tell you what I did attempt to do, and that...
the splits?
No. Valentine's Day was also Luis's birthday.
Yes, you were supposed to buy him 2 presents from Amazon.
That didn't happen.
I believe it.
Actually, I did buy him one, and it hasn't come in yet because I waited too long.
What'd you get him? Or am I jumping ahead of the story? You know what? Tell your story, and then we'll talk about the gifts.
So, while he wears the earring, okay? Nothing big. And I think maybe
earrings.
a year ago, well, see, you wear 2. He just wears 1.
Oh.
I don't know if there's a difference of, what one means and one doesn't. I don't know.
I'm twice as cool.
Probably. That's probably exactly right. So
I'm just kidding.
I think about a year ago he had mentioned something about buying like a diamond stud. And
an actual real diamond.
I don't know if he meant an actual one or not, but I was thinking for, his birthday, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go see how much these diamond things are. And to, give our listeners a little background about me, I don't wear jewelry. If I do occasionally put some jewelry on, I will slip on my wedding band and throw on a couple, maybe a necklace and a pair of earrings to go out to an outing. But other than that, I don't wear anything during the week on a normal day. So I know nothing about jewelry or diamonds.
Wait, are you saying you don't wear your wedding ring during the week, or am I misunderstanding?
No, you understood correctly.
Okay.
I don't. And so I go out on this little hunt. I go to the mall and I find one of these little kiosks, and I'm like, well, let me just look at the little hoops and see what they got going on. And this lady, she pulls out a couple earrings and she's like, these won't turn. I'm like, okay, I'm glad they won't. And I'm like, well, how much are they? She's like, $25. Well, I consider Luis very kind of stuck up in like modern terms, people bougie.
Okay, bougie. All right, I was going to say he's like very fashion forward, very conscious of the quality of things that he wears.
Yeah, and so I was like, he's going to throw these at me.
To be blunt, he doesn't like cheap shit, right?
Right. So I was like, okay, thank you. I need to think about that. So then I go to an actual jewelry store.
You're like, hey, could you charge me $50 instead, just so I could tell my husband that these weren't cheap?
So I go to the jewelry store, and it's my son, Luis, and I. And I'm like, oh, these are so pretty. And then I look at the price. And I was like, oh, that would be perfect. And I look at the price. It's like $2,500. And I'm
That's like $100, 100 times more than what the other earrings cost.
I was like, this is not in my budget at all. So
you're like, hey, how much for just the one?
I actually did end up asking that, but not at the jewelry store. So anyway, I was like, okay.
You went back to the kiosk and said, I'll give you $13 for just one.
No. So I was like, okay, well, maybe a couple of $100, not that, obviously he's worth a lot more than that, but my budget, I just don't have that pocket.
Honestly, he's priceless. I know your husband. He's priceless. You can't put a number figure on what he's worth.
Yeah. So I find this diamond earring that's not it's not a full carat, obviously. It's so tiny that I'm picturing him trying to put it in, and it actually gone through his earlobe. And so I'm like, you know what? This is not going to work. So I end up, the next day I asked Isabel, because she works with someone that knows a jeweler. And I asked her to find out. And for one was like $300 to $400. I was like, well, you know what? It's just not going to happen. So I didn't get him anything.
Oh, man. Nothing?
No.
You didn't get it? Okay.
I cooked a dinner for him and the family and had, some of the family over.
But you didn't give him anything that he could unwrap and open up and be like, oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
No.
Oh, no.
But I did get him a number 2 podcast shirt. So he can unwrap that.
But you didn't have it for his birthday. He has to wait.
It's okay, because we went out to dinner on the actual birthday together. Okay, because it was Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's also Valentine's Day. Did you give him a Valentine gift?
No, I gave him my love.
But you give him your love all the time, right? That's like the gift that keeps on giving. You can't just be like, okay, today's the one day I give you my love.
Exactly. You said it. I don't feel bad.
You should.
No,
you're
I don't.
Awful. Look, I'm not saying spend $300 or $400 on an earring for him, but at least have something for him to unwrap on his Valentine's Day. It's whatever, it's a made-up holiday if you want to go that way, or just maybe I'm just saying that because I'm single and lonely. But aside from that, it's his birthday. Give him a present to unwrap, please.
It was actually pretty funny.
Maybe to you.
But it was pretty funny because he got home, Tuesday, the day before his actual birthday, which Wednesday was also Ash Wednesday. As Catholics, we don't eat meat. So anyway, we did something.
That was a very hard day for me, and so was Friday. I'll tell you why.
So anyway, I had family over, and he gets home pretty late in the evening. And so when he pulls in the driveway, Loopy and Cleo were here, and we all kind of like rushed to the living room. We turned out all the lights. I mean, he knew that we had people here. He opens the door, and everybody's just like, surprise!
Y'all are so goofy.
I really think he got a kick out of it, though.
No, I love it.
You should have seen the face.
I'm into it, but that is so goofy.
It was hilarious. It was a good night. Yeah, I'll see if I can get some video on that.
Oh, my goodness. You and your video. You promised video from Vegas. You didn't do anything.
Expectations.
Yeah. Don't fact check you and don't expect anything from me. That's what I've learned from this podcast doing with you. What?
Well, I'm not good with cameras, filming or computers.
We don't know that because we don't have any evidence to show of your photography or videography work.
That's true.
That's
I need to work
true.
on that.
Yeah, I don't lie on this show.
Anyway,
for those who can't see the camera, I just winked left and right, just to cover my bases.
I don't know if I can. I can't do the left side.
Okay.
It's probably because that mini stroke.
So we release this podcast in regular podcast format, but we also have a video portion now. Please go to youtube.com/Campfyre, and that's Campfyre with a Y, so you can see Lourdes that's trying to wink.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on because I can't do that.
No, go ahead and try to wink one more time. Both eyes. Thank God you're already married, because if you were trying to flirt with a guy, he'd be like, hey, can someone call an ambulance? That woman's starting to have a seizure.
Did you see when you said both eyes? I went.
Now she's winking with both eyes, which the rest of the world calls blinks.
Oh, it's too funny.
Oh, my goodness. Because this has been such a long week for me. I don't know where to begin, so I guess I'll just start with Sunday.
Day one of the week.
Day one. Day one. I wake up and I don't see this person yet, but there's a guest in our house who I'm not aware of. My roommate is constantly bringing people over, not giving us a heads up, because that's all we ask. Like, hey, look, give us a heads up, and if it's somebody that we feel is, unsavory or whatever, then we have to put our foot down and be like, no, they can't come over. But I wake up, and there's somebody extra in the house, and I'm like, whatever, I guess she spent the night, they're hanging out today, I don't know. But there's an extra dog in the house, and that's what gives it away. I didn't know until I saw this extra dog in the house. And it turns out this guest is a 19-year-old from where my roommate works. Mm-hmm. Now, my roommate works as a cocktail waitress at a strip club.
Oh, how exciting!
Yeah, and I'm not bashing that. It's an honest job. She makes good money.
It's an income.
Yeah, it's an income, and it's
keeps her off the streets.
No, she's an educated girl. She's very capable, but this is what she's doing because it pays very well. And so this 19-year-old stripper is at the house. And again, I haven't seen her yet. I've only seen her dog. So I don't know what she's like. I don't know her personality. I don't know what she looks like. I'm hoping that she's a hot 19-year-old, but as creepy as it sounds, hey, I know. I'm a creepy old man. But anyway, so I'm dealing with this dog. I'm trying to make breakfast, and this dog keeps coming up and licking my hand. I'm like, this is gross, man. I don't want dog slobber in my food. So I yell at it to go away, and it goes away, and I wash my hands, back to cooking. And then before I know it again, this little dog, not little, it's a good size, it's a year old, but it's a good sized dog, sneaks up on me again and licks my hand again. So it does it like 2 or 3 times. And I finally build like a little barrier out of the kitchen chairs to keep them in the living room. And
away from the
let me back up. Before I did that, I let them all outside. They could all use the bathroom. They're doing fine. They're playing with each other because we have 2 dogs in the house that live here with us. So they're all outside. Then my roommate comes down to let them in. I'm like, no. They're fine. They're fine outside. They're fine. She's like, but she gets cold. And I'm thinking.
Okay. I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're getting interrupted again. So from the Bronx with Love, here's another one of those BG noises and unexpected guests. So anyway, back to my story. So I'm thinking, they're all cold. It's like 40 degrees outside, but their dogs, they're covered with fur. They'll be fine if, for a few more minutes while I finish cooking. But she lets them back in, and again, the licking. So then I build a little barrier out of chairs. Chairs don't do much. The dog comes through anyway, and it's a real excitable dog. It's like I said, it's a year old, and it's just like running back and forth, real hyper. Hasn't been trained properly, probably not cared for properly, but it's a beautiful dog. I'm not going to say anything bad about the dog. It's not the dog's fault.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with that. So I finish breakfast. I go back upstairs, and I'm working on the show because that's what my weekends are spent like. I don't know if you knew that. So I'm working on the show.
No, I didn't realize it.
Yes. Well, I go to brush my teeth, and someone's in the bathroom. Can't brush my teeth. Actually, I started the morning that way. I was going to brush my teeth in the morning because that's the first thing I do, but the bathroom was occupied. So then instead, I went to cook breakfast. I know it's gross, but I was hungry. So back upstairs, and then I come out of my room again a couple hours later after working on the show for a couple hours because it takes several hours to get this show ready. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Oh, I'm not.
Well, I just want you to be aware of that. That's not important to this story. I don't know why I brought it up. It doesn't matter how much time I spent on this show.
2 times already.
So I come out of my bedroom, and the dog is running around upstairs. I'm like, we don't let the dogs up here. And this is her dog, the guest dog. And my first thought is, oh no, I hope it didn't get in the bathroom and go through the wastebasket because that's what dogs tend to do, right?
Oh, yes. My little doggy did that. It was so bad.
Yeah. So I take the dog downstairs. I'm yelling. It tries to come back up, and I have to block it. I get it back downstairs, and I get the little barrier thing put up. And I come back upstairs, and sure enough, in the bathroom, there's toilet paper on the ground and a used feminine product.
Oh, my gosh.
That the dog pulled out of the garbage. Okay?
Ooh. Did you start yelling?
I wanted to, but my roommate wasn't here. and that girl wasn't here because they went out to have lunch together. They didn't say, hey, we're leaving and we're going to leave the dog behind. They just disappeared. So now this dog is my responsibility, right? This dog that I don't want to deal with, I now have to deal with because there's a mess. And I can't leave it there because I don't know where they are. I don't know when they'll be back. There's you know how germphobic I am. And now there's this disgustingness on the floor. And don't get me wrong. I understand a period is a part of women's life, and that I have no issue with that. I understand that's just, I grew up in a family full of women. I understand that's just what happens. But when a dog pulls that out, now it's my problem that it shouldn't be my problem. I shouldn't have to be dealing with that. The other toilet paper was. Go ahead.
Here's my question. How does a stripper strip if they're on their period?
That's a good question. I don't know. I guess you just tucked it all in.
So weird. Like, I mean, especially if there's like a pole or something. I mean, I know we're getting way off topic, but I mean, that's my goodness,
I didn't even
weird.
consider that. See, this is why you're so smart, because I don't consider those things. I'm just looking at what's there and thinking this is disgusting. So I go get the dustpan and the broom and I sweep it up and I throw it away again. And I'm angry at the dog, but I'm not, not going to do anything to the dog. I'm just like, I hate your mom already. I don't know who she is, but I freaking hate her.
Your mama lady.
I hate your mom, dog.
Oh, let's go.
So
you clean up.
Yeah, clean up the mess.
The blood bath in the restroom.
God, don't say. And I spray the floor down with some chemicals, just because, like, I don't know what's on there. I don't know whose it is. Out of the two of them, it's both gross possibilities, but there's one that I'm less afraid of than the other. But it turns out to be the one that I'm more afraid of. Okay? So I spray the floor down with some chemicals and just let that sit. So that was Sunday. Never met this girl. Dealt with the dog all day. Dog was hyper and was barking. It would start barking. So Monday comes around and I go to work and everything, and I'm hoping that it's all taken care of by the time I get home. Of course not. I get home, dog is still here, and I think I met the girl for a second. I don't remember exactly, but she ended up going out someplace or something like that. So we had to have a talk with our roommate, me and my other roommate, who were both upset with
what
Megan. Yeah, Megan. We'll call her Megan. That might not be her real name, but it is. So
y'all lecture Megan.
Yes. And
some
we're like, hey,
tips.
what's going on? And she's explaining to us that this girl is trying to get out of her apartment. She's living with a guy and two other girls. This guy has been taking her money and hanging on to it for her.
Oh, maybe he's charging her rent.
Yeah, maybe. But he takes it from her every night to hang on to it for her.
Oh, he's like her own little bank.
Yeah, exactly. Like a savings account, I guess you could say. But the last deposit she made wasn't as much as the previous deposits, and he thought that maybe she wasn't trusting him with all her money to hang on to, so he got upset.
I guess. The government wants
exactly.
everything.
Like he was like, "Hey, you owe taxes," and she's like, "Well, this is all that I have," and he's like, "Well, then you're going to go to jail." I don't know. I don't know.
She didn't have any get out of jail cards, did she?
Exactly. So she's like, "Okay, I want to get out of this state where I have to pay these taxes. I want to move to my own less dependent state where I have a little more sovereignty." And so she's like trying to go to Switzerland where she had to pay taxes, I guess. Is it Switzerland, Swiss bank accounts, all that stuff. So she's trying to shelter her money. And so she asked Megan if she could stay here for a little bit, and Megan,
as kind-hearted as she is, she probably just said,
her heart was in the right place, because I think she sees some of herself in this girl, not so much the situation, but just being that she's young, stupid,
needs some help,
and needs some help because
she has some major brain malfunctions.
Yeah. Because Megan is a free spirit. She's traveled a lot. She's been in places where, she told me one of the reasons is when she was living someplace else, she was living out of her car for a little while because she didn't have enough money, and her boss let her stay with her at her house. And her boss was a kind heart who let homeless children stay there. There were drug addicts staying there, which is very great and noble, but also very dangerous. And that's what we tried to explain to her. Like, look, we don't know anything about this girl. We don't know anything about the guy that she's living with. As far as he's concerned, we're taking that extra money now. Like, just, you got to think about these things. You're putting us in a potentially dangerous situation that we didn't ask for. We didn't have any say in this. And her response is, I didn't think about it like that. I didn't think of that. I didn't consider that. I was like, yes, that's exactly right. You didn't consider anything. You didn't think of any of this. Yeah, you're trying to do a good thing.
Probably because she only thinks about herself. I mean, I don't know, maybe.
Well, I mean,
I don't know this anonymous Megan person, but
I don't know how she thinks, but she obviously wasn't thinking of this situation.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, look, you have to be careful with this sort of thing because we don't know who or what we're dealing with. This could end up, probably nothing's going to happen, but something could.
Oh,
man. And you don't know that. You don't know this person.
It's not just that you're just not equipped. Like you had given some comparison that this Megan chick had lived with someone before that let her stay there and also had other types of people there with, that maybe we're trying to work through some drug issues or whatever it is. But that person in that house seemed like maybe they were prepared and knew how to handle certain situations, and that's why they felt so comfortable allowing, these people in. Where you guys, I mean,
we're suburbia USA.
Yeah, in and out of the house. You don't know who's home, who's not home. And I mean, you could have somebody ransacking the house and you're in your room working on your podcast. Exactly.
Which is a major concern. I know. And it's something that we've talked about her with her before. So that happens. And she's, I feel like we got through to her because, she was starting to seem more serious about it. So the next day comes and I get off of work. I come home. And this girl is still here. And Megan had said tomorrow or the day after. So I was hoping, now. I was like, oh, man. So it's tomorrow. The girl's still here. And they're just like laughing and giggling like a couple of teenage girls. Although one of them is a teenager. The other one isn't.
That sounds so weird.
One of them is 19. Yeah, so this is actually the first time that I get an introduction to this girl. And I'm telling you, because for a 19-year-old stripper, she looks like she's a 17-year-old high school student. She still has acne on her face, sad. And she is like a tiny little girl, tiny little frame. And I just immediately like, oh my God, that she's about the age of my nieces, and she's out here on her own, and she's stripping for a living, and she's living with a guy who's taking all her money. And I feel bad for her. I really do. But you can tell that she just has no idea of the situation that she's in, or she doesn't know how life works. She's really naive and really dumb. Mm-hmm. Like she's a high school dropout, it turns out. And her idea, from what Megan told me, was that she's just going to, strip for a living until she finds a rich guy who's going to take care of her. But that is not a life plan. Mm. As you know from your stripping days when you were trying to find a rich guy to take care of you.
I found one.
I'm kidding. That never happened. Thank goodness. Because again, stripping is
I couldn't strip anyway.
Yeah, stripping is an honest living, but it attracts like the wrong kind of people.
It could attract the wrong kind of people.
Oh yeah, potentially. I mean, you get like horny college guys, criminals, or creepy old guys like me. So
you're sick.
Take your pick.
I couldn't strip because even if I wanted to, not saying that I did. No, I'm joking. Because I have because I had like the chicken pox when I was young, and I had them so bad. I have like little scars still all over me. So that I would be kind of I'd be like a circus show stripper.
Yeah, you could have been like, here, you hand them a marker and say connect the dots.
Stop. That's what your fave number Your fave cuz number one. Wait, how do you say it?
Fave
yeah,
cuz.
your fave cuz. She's
My Fave Cuz Phoebe. Yeah.
She's horrible. Anyway.
All right. So now we're on day 3 of this girl being in my house without my against my
Consent.
wishes. Yeah, without my consent, against my wishes. She's here.
Did you start taking her money?
I thought about charging her rent. I'm like, welcome to America, pay your taxes. No. So day 3, they have a pizza, they're having dinner. And I'm trying to talk to this girl because Megan asked me and my other roommate, Jared, who had this conversation with Megan the previous night. She asked us if we could have a similar conversation with this girl. And I'm not just going to start lecturing this girl, but, I'm trying to ease into a conversation where maybe I can offer some of this insight, this advice. But it's going nowhere. It's like trying to talk to a 19-year-old girl who's a stripper. You can imagine how that conversation goes. She's so I asked her, I was like, hey, look, your dog is a very beautiful dog. What's her name? How'd you adopt her? What's that story? And she's like, oh my God. When I first met this dog, it was in a bin with his brothers and sisters. It was full of pee and poop. I'm surprised I'm not crying right now. I bawl every time I tell this story. And I'm like, oh, well, that's sweet. She adopted this dog that was being, in a bad situation, being abused. I was like, that sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So
was the dog a stripper too?
Well, when I met the dog, all she was wearing was a collar, no clothes. It's a damn shame. And she kept licking my hand. No. I'm trying to make light of this situation, but I really was upset. I was uncomfortable, but anyway.
You listened
So I'm talking to this girl, and then Megan comes down, and the conversation changes, and we're talking about whatever. And I'm eating my dinner. I'm sitting at the table next to Jared, who's eating his dinner. And again, like I said, we're talking about something else. And all of a sudden, the girl turns around, and she has a picture of herself on her phone, and she asks Jared, "Is this a good picture of me?" And it's like an Instagram photo. It's very like, has like a little blur over it, like very
filtered.
Yeah, totally filtered. It smooths out her skin
like
some.
her.
Yeah, and it's one of those poses where she's like almost kissy face, like a little.
The duck lips.
Yeah. And it's one of those, and I'm thinking, wow, this girl, I mean, she's here trying to get out of this situation she's in, trying to find another place to stay. And she just is completely oblivious to everything around her. She's just in a bubble.
Yeah, but because sometimes with, I've learned to realize that sometimes it doesn't mean that's a bad thing. To someone that does know the difference to reality and what you want it to be, like in an imaginary world, that's what she knows. So to her, it's a normal thing. It doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with it.
Well, and here's the other thing too. Like, again, and this is probably the way I was raised, and probably the way you were raised. If I'm staying at somebody's house for a night or more than a night, especially if I'm staying at someone's house for more than a night, I'm going to tell everyone who lives there, hey, look, I appreciate you. Let me stay in here. Even if they're not the ones who said, hey, come stay here. Mm-hmm. I would still be like, look, I know I might be in the way or something, but I really appreciate this. None of that. Not even an acknowledgement of it. Just going on with like, okay, now I live here now for however long I can. So they have pizza. Oh, I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
No, I was just thinking she's probably thinking that, hey, this is life. She's living in a house where she doesn't have to pay rent. Her dog gets taken care of.
Yeah. Because Megan was the one who was feeding the dog and giving it water when she wasn't there. And when they both weren't there, then I don't know what to do. I don't know if this dog is eating yet. There's a bowl of water for the other dogs that this dog is drinking out of. So, I don't know what to do. So I'm not going to do anything. So they're eating pizza, eating it out of the pizza box. She goes upstairs for something, and the dog is trying to get into the pizza box. And she yells from the stairs, "That dog's trying to eat my food. Spank it. Spank." And Megan Megan doesn't hit dogs. She's real loving of dogs. So she's like, being real loving with the dog, telling it no, not to eat the food. And the girl is saying like, she just tried to eat my food and now you're playing with her. And I'm thinking, she just told me this sad story of how this dog was abused when she adopted it, and now she's telling somebody to hit it. It just doesn't make sense, and it's making me angry. Like, this girl is so just dumb. This girl's a dummy. So I said, well, there's a way you can keep the dog from getting in the food. She's like, yeah, the dog is so smart. I bet when we get back, it's gonna be eating my food. I was like, you can stop the dog from doing that. Megan says, by putting it in the fridge. I'm like, yeah, there you go. Or you can write cat food on the cover of the pizza box, and the dog won't eat it. You know what the girl said to that?
What?
She can't read.
Oh, God. You should have been like, okay, we gotta stop. We gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They were getting ready to go out because Megan came and asked Jared and me if a guy that they both know could come over. Mm-hmm. I'm like, look, nah, I'm not too comfortable with this. I don't know this guy. She's like, we both know him. I was like, yeah, but still, if he's connected to this situation, she's like, he's not connected. He's a mutual friend of ours. And I know what's going on. This guy wants to sleep with this other girl, which, more power to him. I don't care. I'm not trying to cockblock anybody, but I don't want more people in the house knowing what we have and stuff like that. Because this is a guy
doing the nasty.
Yeah, I definitely don't want that going on in here if you don't live here. If you live here, you do what you want. Just keep your door closed. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want this stripper banging guys in this house because she doesn't live here and she doesn't have that right. This is not that type of place.
I would have charged her extra rent if that was the case.
No. Well, she wasn't paying anything. I'm not even sure who bought the pizza. No, so I'm firm with like, no, I'm not comfortable with somebody else coming over, especially, if it's in relation to her, because I don't know her and I don't know what her intentions are. She's already proven herself to be a dummy. Who knows what this guy. So they go out to a bar to meet this guy. A bar. She's 19 years old, so go to a bar. All right. Well, I finished dinner and I go to bed. The next day again. I'm like, okay, this is Tuesday already. She should be. I don't even know what day it is. Whatever day it is, today's the day she should be leaving. Go to work. Come back. Open the door. Her dog barks at me at the door. I don't even take a full step in. I just back out, close the door, lock it, and I go someplace to go get something to eat because I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to deal with them while I'm cooking, trying to have a peaceful dinner. I don't want to put up with this shit. I'm tired of this shit going on. And I just leave. I go get a couple burgers, no buns.
Oh, good.
Sticking to my diet. Yeah. And I eat and I calm down and I prepare myself for what is going to be going on at the house. So I get back home. Dog's still there. I go upstairs. I talk to my roommate, Jared. He tells me what's going on. I go knock on Megan's door. And she tells me the girl hasn't been at the house all day. She left her dog there. Megan's been taking care of the dog. The girl went and left from the bar last night with the other guy so she could sleep with him. And now she's at another guy's house smoking weed because Megan wouldn't let her bring it back to the house. So thank goodness for Megan understanding some of the house rules and respecting those. And now Megan is getting frustrated because she feels like she's being taken advantage of. I'm like,
Where's the dog?
The dog is downstairs. The dog is at the house.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And Megan was planning to go out of town. And that's why this girl wasn't going to be staying any longer because Megan had to leave. So, I'm like, okay, you're starting to understand this is why you have to be careful with who you try and help. And she said she talked to her mom and her mom explained to her, you're still trying to get your shit together. How are you going to be able to help someone else get their shit together if you don't even, this girl is dragging you in the wrong direction. And her mom gave her an example, like if a drowning man throws another drowning man a life jacket, they're probably both going to drown. And that's what you're doing right now. You're both going to drown because you're not in a position to help people because you still need help yourself. So she was starting to understand.
Megan?
Megan is early 20s, like maybe 23, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's just a few years older than this girl. And that's why I feel like she probably saw some of herself in this girl because Megan is still dealing with a bunch of her stuff that she's trying to clean up. And for the record, Megan has never stripped or anything like that. She's just a waitress, and she's told me that guys have offered, and she just turns them down. And she's just working there because it's good money, and she can make a full week's pay in just a few nights of work. So, I feel bad for her because it sucks, but she brought it on herself. This is what she has to deal with, and she said, all right, I have to be on the road at 1:00 tomorrow to get to where I'm going. I told her we have to get everything done because this girl doesn't even have an ID. So she doesn't have a car and she doesn't have a place to live now. So
Oh yeah.
What's that? So Megan offered to take her to go get her ID, and she's got to get all this taken care of the next day so that she can get on the road and leave. And if you're going to be on the road at 1, you got to have to do all this other stuff in the morning because the girl didn't have a bank account either. So that's why, she was having this crazy bank account system at her old apartment.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to get all this done, man, you got to get up early. And if that girl is out, and I mean, so far she's been calling you at 4:00 in the morning to pick her up. From night 1, it was 4:00 in the morning. Can you come pick me up and get me? From the night that she stayed with that dude, it was like 4:00 in the morning. She said, hey, can you come get me? And I'm like, if she does it again, 4:00 in the morning, hey, can you come get me? You're not going to have a lot of energy.
Was she going to pick her up each time that she called her? Would she go pick her up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Except for the night before, she said no because it was like an hour and a half round trip. So the guy bought her an Uber to send her back to our place. Man. So I'm like, okay, so tomorrow for sure this girl is getting out of here, right? Like, you have to leave. She cannot stay. And Jared said, if she doesn't show up and that dog is left here, it's going to end up at a shelter. And I'm like, yes, I'm not going to take care of this dog. He's not taking care of this dog. I don't care how beautiful it is. Because it's a beautiful dog and it's lovely, but we're not taking care of this.
Well, you can't take care of the dog. Y'all aren't there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
y'all would
it's going to end up at a shelter.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. So the next day comes and Jared says, I'll text you because Jared works from home. So he's at home having to deal with all this shit all day while he's trying to work. So he's like, I'll keep you updated. All right, cool. So like, I don't know, comes to around noon. I almost said noon o'clock. Yeah, it comes around noon o'clock. It comes around noon and he's texting me. He's like, her bags are gone, but the dog is still here. I'm like, what the hell? The dog is still there? We're not taking care of this dog. He's like, yeah, I think it might just be that they couldn't fit everything in there, so they're going to take her stuff and then come get the dog. I'm like, okay. So then he starts sending me pictures. And there's a picture of where the pens were, where the dogs that live with us, their little night, what do you call it? The little cage things? Whatever.
The
their
kennels.
beds.
Yeah,
the kennels.
Oh, the bed,
exactly. Yeah. So the kennels, there's a couple boxes on top, and there's a half-eaten slice of pizza just sitting there.
On the kennel? The dog kennel?
Yes.
Bare? Like nothing?
Yeah, no plate, no napkin, just a piece of pizza that got set there and left.
Oh my gosh.
And then he texted me and said that he stepped in a big puddle of pee this morning.
Oh.
Yeah, that he had to clean up. I'm like, oh my goodness. And then a couple hours later, he sends me a video. It's just our dogs in the house downstairs, and nothing else. And then he's like, he turns the camera towards himself. He's like smiling and showing me that everything is gone. the house is back to normal, as much as normal as the house can be, this crazy house. And I'm like, oh my goodness, 4 days this girl was here, and we had to put up with this. And it was only supposed to be a couple of days. And it turns out Megan didn't even get to go out of town. Everything took so long, and she just changed her mind and was like, forget it. Which was another surprise to me, because I thought I was going to have the house to myself for a little while. And I come home and Megan's there. But yes, that was a stressful few days that we had to deal with some nonsense that we shouldn't have had to deal with. What do you think?
Because, well, first of all, 19-year-olds don't know anything. I'm sorry.
I know. I used to be 19.
They think they know everything, but they know, oops.
Because I've asked you, I don't know why you play that train sound effect just in the middle of the show. It's so random. It has nothing to do with the stories. What are you doing?
It's crazy.
I mean, where else can you get a train?
I don't know, just like these random sound effects.
Family, you are wrong all the time.
Anyway, 19-year-olds think they know everything, but they don't.
They don't know nothing. And so...
I thought it was some bushy head person underneath there.
Gosh. And so, you know, I'm not defending...
Testicles, 1, 2, 3.
I'm not at all defending this chick.
Mary had a little lamb.
But, you know, there's grown-ass people that don't know right from wrong. Or they know right from wrong. Shit. You can't blame this girl. And she's not dumb. She's naive. She's immature. She has no idea what life is. And what she does know of it is, it's pretty sad. Like...
All right, hang on.
Okay,
I have issue with you saying I can't call her dumb, because I said write cat food on the pizza box, and her response was she can't read.
Well, but she has no, maybe obviously she has no common sense, or she wouldn't be doing what she's doing. Not saying that stripping is not making money, that's how she chooses, but I'm saying giving her money to
look, I'll say it, it's not a noble profession. All right, I'll say it.
But it was her way of income, even though she didn't have any income. So who in their right mind is going to say, okay, I'm going to go work my ass off, possibly on my period, and give whatever money I make from it to somebody else? So she's obviously not thinking. She doesn't know how to think.
And that's
for
a bad
herself.
situation. I mean, honestly,
it sucks.
Yeah. So, you know, she's doing what she knows. You and I know we're not going to walk into someone's house. First of all, we're not going to be stripping. And we're not going to walk into someone's house and basically
I don't know. There was a time I considered it when I was in college the second time.
You considered it, but you didn't do it.
Well, they said I had to shave my pubes because they didn't like it hanging out the side of the little Speedo.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, I earned these gray pubes and I want to show them off.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. I don't have gray pubes that I know of. I can't see past my belly anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think Megan's mom hit the nail on the head when she said, you know, it's like a drowning man trying to save another drowning man.
Exactly.
Her
mom is very smart. Her parents are very smart people.
Yeah, and it seems
I've met them
like
a few times, and yeah.
Even though Megan is only 3 to 4 years older than this chick, think about this. She's able to legally buy alcohol. She has an actual stable home where she can come and go freely. And this
stable,
chick
except for the instability that she brings into it.
Right. But again, she's going to learn. Just like she kind of was realizing that this chick was possibly taking advantage of her and using her.
I'll say definitely taking advantage of her.
And what does she do? She cut her off, right? To an extent.
Right. But before she cut her off, there was at one point she made the offer if she could get a second bed into her bedroom, that this girl could stay with her indefinitely. And we put a kibosh on that right away. We're like, no, that is not happening. You cannot do that. There are enough people in this house. It's crowded already. No. And she's like, okay, yeah. So she took that offer off the table. But like that's what she was thinking.
Yeah, but just think this 19-year-old has absolutely no one, maybe, that she values, that she's going to hear, okay, you can do this, you can't do this, don't do this. No type of guidance. Her guidance was the guy taking her money from her. And it probably wasn't that she was thinking that he was helping her. She got upset because, and it's probably maybe Megan may have been the one to say, hey, why are you giving him all your money?
I mean, the person giving the money should be like, why am I giving you all my money?
If that's all you know, you wouldn't think any different.
I guess. It's really hard for me to understand, to look at it from that point of view, because it's just so foreign to me. And that's another thing, too, I told Megan. I was like, look, this whole lifestyle is so out of my element. I'm not sure exactly how to deal with this. I want to help this girl because it sounds like she's in a bad situation, but I don't know what to do because there's only so much I can do. I don't have the money to offer her to help, but she has plenty of money herself. I mean, she evidently does very well at the club, but I would offer guidance, but again, I don't know if she'll take that or if she even wants to hear that from me. And again, who am I to just tell this girl how to live her life, because I'm nobody to her. I can offer what I think is sound advice, but what is my evidence? How am I going to tell this girl, hey, you're making between $200 and $400 a night, but you're putting yourself in danger. You're a high school dropout. Go get a regular 9-to-5 minimum wage paying job and make what you make in one night. Maybe you can make in a week.
Well, yeah, you're not going to make any sense to her. She's going to look at you and you're going to be the stupid one.
Yeah.
Like, where is your brain? She's 19. All we can do is really pray. And, some people strip doesn't mean that they actually go and are prostituting or into drugs or anything like that.
No.
The money is really good.
I think she gives it away for free to the guys that she's attracted to.
There you go. Even more so. I
mean, because
who in their right mind would do that?
I mean, because she met up with this guy at the bar, and then she went home with him, and then she went home with another guy. So I'm.
Ooh, that's very risky as far as sexual transmitted diseases. And,
oh, totally. Yeah, we cleaned the toilet after she left. Oh, we cleaned the toilet after
the doorknobs, the sinks, the handles.
No, we cleaned the toilet after she yelled out to Megan when they were getting ready to go to the bar that first time to meet that guy. Mm-hmm. I heard her yell out, "Hang on, I'm peeing." And it sounded like she was just upstairs. It didn't sound like it was coming from the bathroom with the door and stuff. And then Megan told us later, yeah, she went to pee and she left the door open. Oh. That's why we were able to hear it so clearly. So that night for sure, we cleaned the toilet before either of us used it. And I'm talking about Jared and me because I'm germphobic as it is, and he's just being cautious because he understands this girl might not be the cleanest person.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sideswipe the show with this. It's just something that was on my mind. It happened to me this week, and it took up most of my week, and it made the week feel so long. I honestly thought that this whole thing started last week, and I hadn't got a chance to tell you about it. Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Well, I didn't have anything nearly as that complicated. I think I did make someone upset, kind of similar to what you're saying as far as people not thinking, putting themselves in danger.
Hang on. Before you start that, one last thing. Because, again, you know how germphobic I am, and you know how I am about people messing with my stuff.
Yeah.
I went to the bathroom that first day before I had even seen her. I went to the bathroom, and on the bathroom counter was my comb that I had up in a cabinet, and it had some straggly, like some little wiry blonde hairs in it. And I was like, I know Megan doesn't use my stuff. Who is using my stuff without my permission, and then not having the decency to clean it out when you're done? So that went in the garbage. That went in the garbage. I didn't touch it. In fact, I went and bought a new toothbrush and stuff because that comb is right next to my toothbrush in the cabinet. So just in case there was any kind of contact with my toothbrush, I'm not taking that chance.
Gosh.
So anyway,
Well,
back
I
to
had
you.
been talking. I talked to someone, and she's single, and she was going to some kind of like singles gathering for. It was like a Bible study, I think it was. Anyway, so she meets somebody, and she tells me that it seemed exciting because this person showed some interest in her, and so the next day she had got an invitation to go have dinner, and she accepted. And then the next night or the next day was Valentine's Day. I'm sorry, let me back up. So the first invitation she got for dinner, she was given a small gift, and she was super excited about it. I was like, that's really sweet. So the next day is Valentine's Day, and she's telling me how they're going to go and what she's going to have for dinner. And I'm like, oh, wow, sounds cool. Where are you going? And she says, well, this person, he's going to be cooking for me, and I'm going to go to his place. And I was like, whoa. I was like, I was like, do you think it's kind of
hang on a second.
moving a little
person you
fast?
don't know?
I was like, maybe you should just be a little cautious, slow down. And then she kind of got on I felt like she got on the defense, and I was like, well, I'm not saying moving fast is not a good thing.
And that was the last time you ever saw her, right?
No. Well, I was like, you know, be cautious because you
hang on.
don't know this person.
Yeah, let me ask you real fast, just to kind of set the stage here. This woman, it was like a singles event, so I'm guessing, is she like the lonely type? Is she kind of desperate?
I wouldn't call her desperate. I'm
Okay.
gonna say no. I don't think she's desperate.
But do you think she's lonely?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So.
But I don't really think that she's easily like. I don't think if some guy just gives her a compliment, she's gonna be like, "Oh, let's go home."
Okay.
You know.
All right. No, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what type of person?
I don't think she's
her
an easy
personality.
person. Yeah.
Okay.
I think she has standards and
Good.
and morals, and so
How
which
old
was
is she?
even.
More
She's in her
importantly, go ahead. No,
30s.
she's in her. What she look like?
So I'm not going into that. No, I'm not. No. Anyway, so I make the comment that, do you think it's going a little fast? You just met this guy like 2 days ago, less than 72 hours. And she's like, no, I'm just letting him call all the shots. And I'm just going with it. And I'm like, yeah, but you just don't know this person. And a little bit of what she shared about him that she does know, I'm just going to say he's not his divorce is not completely final. So, and I understand that divorces
man.
could be drawn out for long periods of time. People
Yeah,
could be
but
separated
it's
for months or
still-
years.
That's not a great situation to get yourself into.
Right. And so there were those things, but more so was like,
And wait, this was a Bible group sort of thing, like a religious group,
yeah,
singles thing.
I think it was a Bible study. I don't want to say it was like a religious.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't
just
It
Catholics
wasn't something
or
like
just.
this. It wasn't like the church set this.
No.
This was just independently set up by a group of people who get together to study the Bible.
Right. To my
And they
understanding.
left out that part about married people. And
Well, I think technically he's like single, but it's not completely final. Something along those lines.
right,
But
so
anyway,
he's still married. Is just what I'm
Yeah.
getting at. Go ahead.
so
Hypocrites.
So, I'm trying to tell her I say that so that maybe she can stop and think about, wait, let me just see if this makes sense. And I kind of felt like she got defensive, and she told me not to be judging. She said it in a very nice way, but I was like, I'm not judging at all. I'm saying be cautious because you don't know this person. You don't know his likes, his habits. Is he controlling? Is he obsessive? Does he like guns? Does he, is he abusive? You don't
know anything about this guy because you've only known him for 2.5 days.
Right. So the next morning, which was the day after Valentine's, I felt bad because after we had that talk, I kind of felt like her demeanor and her upbeat little spirit was kind of down. And
but
so
you're looking out for her best interest. You're trying to help her. It's not like you're just trying to rain on her parade because you're jealous or anything like that.
No. And I went to her the next morning and I was like, hey, look, I wasn't trying to be judgmental at all. I was like, I was just saying, again, I repeat just as a precaution. You don't know this person.
I wasn't trying to be a bitch. It just comes so naturally to me. I can't help it sometimes.
So she looked depressed. And I was like, oh, hell, I ruined this girl's Valentine's. Anyway,
way to go, cuz. High five.
I know.
Good for you. No, I'm kidding.
So she was, basically telling me that she needed to step back and didn't want to jump into things, and that she did need to take it slow, and that he actually gave her another gift, and she didn't really feel comfortable that time. If he would have just left it at the first gift, she would have been okay. But she said it's almost like he was trying too hard. And I was like, hey, this
guy is the desperate one.
Yeah, I was like, this might be the guy. I don't know, but you don't know him. And I think you should get to know who he is as a person versus this guy that's cooking you dinner, buying you gifts. I mean, that's not reality. I'm sorry.
After he's showing you the guy who wants to get laid right now. Get to know the guy after the guy who's gotten laid. And I'm not saying have sex with him, but like get to know the real guy. Because we all put on the front when we first meet somebody, trying to put on our best face so that we can get them chonies real fast.
Sick. No, but I just, I felt bad, but then I was like, I also felt like I work, this person.
So did she tell you what the first gift was?
She did, but I don't remember.
Okay. Did she tell you what the second gift was?
Yeah, but I don't think I even paid attention because I was just blown away that she just met this person.
Right.
And he's already giving her 2 gifts.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even know her. He doesn't even know her.
Yeah, I'm a gift giver type also, but I try and be real careful about that sort of thing because I know how it does come off. And it does come off as desperate and needy, but it can also come off as creepy and scary. So I got to be really careful about that.
Yeah. I was like, maybe he was like reading something that said, do what he was doing. I don't know.
How to get laid.
Give lots of gifts.
Well, no, because like, remember I used to send flowers to my former boss who I had a crush on. I sent it to her. The first Valentine's Day, I sent it to her while I was working there, but I just signed it as a secret admirer. Mm-hmm. And then the next Valentine's Day, I sent it to her because I'd kept in touch with her a little bit. But that Valentine's, I think, is the last time that I actually really heard from her. And I thought about doing it again this year, but I was like, I don't know if this year is good because I haven't spoken to her in about a year. It might seem weird just out of the blue sending flowers again for someone who I haven't kept in touch with, even though I still think about her. I still have a crush on her, but she doesn't know that because I haven't made any more movement towards that area. So it would just be out of the blue. And I in fact, I talked to you about it, right?
Yeah, I think that would creep me out.
Yeah.
But first of all, I wouldn't be spending money on somebody that I don't even talk to.
I know. And that was another consideration I thought about. But again, like I said, I still think about this woman. I'm still attracted to her. I just haven't had any contact with her. So I just didn't feel like it was appropriate. And I wanted to double check with you to make sure that my feelings were correct. And you assured me if I sent this, she was going to call the cops and have me arrested for stalking her.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
She probably would have like sent you like a suspicious something to the FBI.
Or she might have been like, oh my God, I've been thinking about him too. I need to call him. We need to go out and have dinner. And then we could have lived the rest of our lives happily ever after. But you ruined that for me.
Yeah, not gonna happen. Because if you haven't talked to her in a year.
I thought about it texting her and saying Happy Valentine's Day. And then I was afraid she's going to be like, where are my flowers? And I was going to say, well, my cousin said...
You should text her, hey, did you get anything special this year for Valentine's?
You know, the last couple of years, her daughter had sent her something, and she posted it on Instagram or Facebook, but I didn't see her post anything this year, so maybe she didn't get anything this year.
That's good for her.
Damn. Oh, man.
Oh, it's too funny.
Oh, cuz.
Yeah, I think we're like way over.
Yeah, I think we've talked enough. We didn't have anything funny to discuss. Man, I feel bad. This is what happens when the show is mostly about me. You can't let me take over the show like this.
I thought it was interesting. I think we got
Interesting, but
something out of today. Remember, stranger danger.
Stranger danger. My goodness. All right, well, hit us up. You can find us at N2Pod on all the social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Email us num2pod@gmail.com. Support the show. Go to campfirepod.com/merch. Buy one of our shirts, or just use the link to buy something else, and we'll make a small commission at no extra charge to you, and you'll be helping support the show. Anything else, cuz? There it is.
That's it. Right here, representing. Those aren't my boobies I'm pulling either, because that would be super gross.
Yes, that would be super gross. Anyway, if you enjoyed today's show and you've had experience with an unexpected house guest or an unwanted house guest, please hit us up. num2pod@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter at num2pod, Instagram. Tell us your stories so we can just wallow in your misery as well.
I don't think it would be wise for family to participate in that.
One time my sister Lourdes had to stay over here.
Or your brother would talk about us evacuating to his house in Dallas.
Oh, or your sister could talk about when we used to evacuate to her house when she lived in Austin.
Yeah, but that was fun. I don't think she disliked that.
Fave Cuz, if you're listening to this, please give us an email, num2pod@gmail.com, or text me personally so I can recount your horrific stories of when we used to have to evacuate to your house. There'd be 17 cars in the driveway. People would be sleeping on the floor of the couches, the extra bedrooms. The kids had to pile up one on top of the other. It was horrible. It was worse than what we were evacuating from.
Yeah.
Wow, we really know how to stretch out an ending, right?
Yeah. You disgust me.
Oh, are we doing that for the outro?
You're sick and
Come on,
disgusting.
cuz, sing a song that you... What?
I have no lyrics ever. None.
With this show and you can say goodbye to number 2 podcast.
Goodbye.
Buy a shirt and support this show and
Goodbye. I wonder what this button does.
Everyone try to help the needy, but don't let them take advantage of you or put you in a dangerous situation.
You sound so cool.
I know, this is cool. This is honestly one of my favorite Christmas presents right here. Thank you so much, cuz.
You're welcome.
We're saying goodbye. We hope you have a great week. So come share your stories with us at Num2Pod. This is Tello saying goodbye to you and number 2. Cause what
Goodbye. Number 2 says goodbye.
say you? Huh?
I was just saying number 2 says goodbye.
Goodbye.